Sometimes I feel like carrot cake is the unofficial mascot of the spring. Mine is super dense and moist, and it's loaded with flavor. I'll mix up my dry ingredients first. 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons each of salt, baking soda, and baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and now I'm gonna add Hawaiian, which is one of my favorite warm spice mixers to use. It's heavy on the cardamom and ginger, and it's also got cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Anything you'd use pumpkin spice for, Hawaiian can fill in. Okay, now in my big bowl, I'm gonna combine 3/4 cup of granulated sugar and a cup of brown sugar to get that really nice molassesy flavor. Add 1½ cups of flavorless oil. Now I'm gonna add my eggs. Okay, now I'm gonna add my vanilla extract. I'm adding a tablespoon of it. It's gonna go really great with all of the spices in this cake. And now I'm gonna add my flour mixture. I'm gonna stir this in most of the way so that there aren't any lumps when I put my carrots in, but I don't wanna overmix it. Overmixing could yield a gummy cake. I'm adding 2 cups of shredded carrots. I just feel like toasted sesame seeds go so well with carrots, and they're gonna add a tiny bit of crunch. Delish. I have 2 8-inch baking pans that have been greased and lined on the bottom with parchment to prevent them from sticking. And I'll pour my batter right in. These are gonna bake at 350 for about 30 minutes until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. My cakes have done baking and I've set them aside to cool. So now it's time for my favorite thing in the world, cake decorating. To start, I'm gonna make my cream cheese frosting. I've got 1/2 cup of unsalted softened butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese that's been coming to room temperature, and I'll mix this to combine. I'll add some powdered sugar. Next, I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of my Hawaiian that I added to the cake, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a pinch of kosher salt, and heavy cream will help fluff this frosting right up. And that's it. I'm just using my big serrated knife to trim off this topped dome part. Okay, I'm gonna grab my cake wheel, which is gonna help me decorate. And I'm gonna start with a dollop of frosting on the bottom, which will help my bottom layer stay in place. Add a thin layer of frosting right on top of my cake layer. Spread it around evenly, ensuring that the frosting goes all the way to the edges. Top it with my second layer. And I always flip it over because it'll yield less crumbs that way, and it's also flatter. And I'm gonna line this up as best as I can. And now I'll frost it all over. So I'm just going around to make sure that it's all covered up. To decorate, I'm gonna grab some rainbow carrots. And now I'm gonna create some nice long ribbons. I love the colors of rainbow carrots. And then I'm gonna roll this up into a swirl so that it looks like a little rose. I think this is the easiest, prettiest way to decorate a carrot cake. For the finishing touch, I'm gonna grab some rosemary sprigs and I'm gonna use them as leaves for the flowers. Is that a spring cake or is that a spring cake?